Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. I've been off for a while, sorry for that, just had to have a break for things, but I've come back to display some anger with War Thunder, and especially with GAIJIN. So Heli EC is the most broken and shittiest game mode ever. Naval, yes, Naval can be shitty, I accept. Naval can be quite nicky with some things, but without a doubt, Heli EC is the worst for everything in War Thunder. And it comes down to a lot of factors. I've been trying to find ways to make constructive criticism without blaming a certain helicopter, but it's impossible. It is, without a doubt, the reason why Heli EC is broken is because of the K50, the K52 and the Mi-28 NM. Not specifically the helicopter themselves, but as you know, the Vicar missiles, or Vicars, however you call them. These missiles, without a doubt, are the most OP and annoying missiles. Now, the UHT can be annoying with its fire and forget missiles, but they cannot come into comparison with the Vicar missiles. Heli EC, without a doubt, it can have its flaws with the map designs and how long it is, but it's not necessarily bad if you haven't got helicopters which have got overpowered ranged missiles. So I think what needs to be done with Heli EC is it needs to be completely scrapped and rethought. They need to add helicopter AB and RB, or helicopter arcade battles and realistic battles, and they need a proper RB compression, as well as, you know, different BRs for them helicopters. I just don't think helicopters without the Vicar missiles should be facing helicopters with the Vicar missiles. It's just not fair. Vicar missiles are just, you can't do anything against them. Even without a laser, I think laser, not laser rangefinder, but laser lock-on guidance system, whatever it is. Whatever you lock onto helicopters with, even without having to use that, you can still kill them because of the procs fuse on the Vicar missiles. The Vicar missiles are just, they're out of the blue OP. I just can't express how overpowered they are. So yeah, for this first bit, I am talking about this missile. The missile just, it's just unfair for a lot of helicopters. You've got the H1G, the Mi-24s, the Mi-4, and even to an extent, it's a bit unfair me using the Mi-28N on the Mi-24s, but then again, they have got similar ranges, so it's quite, you know, fair. But as you can see here, I can't lock onto the Mi-28NM, and that's because the laser lock-on system is not working. It's just bugged. This is another problem with EC. Everything is bugged. It might just be for City, but it is just so flawed and bugged. You can't lock onto things properly. I thought it was something wrong with my controls. I tried to lock onto things, tried to change controls, tried to look what was the problem. I ended up just in a chat later on in the game if they're having the same issue, and they said yes. It's just completely shit. It's terrible. And again here, I'm getting killed by a K50. I can't lock onto him because, again, lasers fucked. And he's got the Vicar missiles. You can't do anything against it. And as much as I don't want to say Russia is OP, I think they are OP with this category. I'm not trying to put all the pressure on Russia. It wouldn't be fair because I enjoy Russian helicopters. I love the Hinds and I love the Mi-28N. I just don't think it's fair to be facing the K52, the K50 and the Mi-28NM when it's got its Vicar missiles. It just isn't fair. You can't counter it either. It's got the best range, it's got the best missile, it's got the proximity on it, so even if it does can't quite miss you, it can kill you with the proximity missile, which is unfair. I just don't get it. And I don't think the K50 should be a premium. I really think it shouldn't be a premium. And I know people go, oh, but you got the Apaches, which are a premium and everything, and all the other helicopters which are a premium. Which, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, they're a premium, but it's not like Hellfires can do the same as what a Vicar missile can do. It is terrible for locking on for a starter. If anyone's played with Hellfire missiles, they should know that the lock-on and actually killing a vehicle is a pain in the arse, because they are just, without a doubt, terrible. And you could say, okay, they could use their air-to-air missiles, which in fairness they can, with things that haven't got flares or chaff to counter these missiles. It is quite a challenge, but again, K-50s, K-52s, Mi-28 and all other helicopters with flares can counter it easily. All you've got to do is use flares. So air-to-air missiles, without a doubt, aren't going to do much to a helicopter that's got flares on them. It's just, you know, you're not going to be able to do much with them. The only chance you're going to have is the Hellfires, which are terrible themselves. They're just terrible. People might be good with the Hellfires, I'm not sure, but my experience with Hellfires, they're god-awful. They're good for killing ground targets in EC, but they are just god-awful for killing helicopters, because the time the helicopter moves, the lock-on just fucks up. It is terrible. So yeah, the Vicar missiles, either they need to be nerfed in the proximity or the range. I personally think they should get rid of the procs, just to be fair, because no one else has the procs crap for it. No one, I don't know about the UHT, I think it's just fire and forget, but apart from that, the proximity is OP. It's just, it needs to be removed. But again, a suggestion would be to make a proper mode for helicopter battles. It wouldn't hurt them. I think having a proper BR range, having K-52s, Mi-28NMs and the K-50s, I think potentially the UHT as well, face each other and nothing else would be fair. Perhaps to satisfy the Germans or the others, they can get the Vic, like, I don't know, 2-4 Vicar missiles, and the UHT can get like PAR missiles, like 2-4 of them stock. So when they are in that battle, that battle, and they're trying to play against one another, it's not so entirely fair, not entirely unfair. Sorry, with them not being able to kill them because they haven't got the missiles. So if that was to be the case, give them maybe stock 2-4 missiles, so they can fight one another. But them 4 helicopters alone should just be facing each other. I don't think it's fair for other helicopters to go against them. Even the British Apache with the Starstreaks, it is god-awful. I mean, it's alright. Sorry, it's alright at times, but again, it's not the best for killing helicopters with, because again, you've got this lock-on issue where it just fucks up. With the K-50 on the other hand, the Vicar missile, the proximity, done. It's easy. You don't even have to aim properly to kill someone. It doesn't take much skill. And again, I'm not one for saying, oh, you need to be skillful in this game. I couldn't really give a shit. I just think you should have fun, and that's all. But it is the definition of no skill, the K-50, the K-52 and the Mi-28NM when you're using the Vicar missiles. The other helicopters have to aim, unless it's the UHT, of course. But again, I can't cover else apart from that. The Vicar missiles are too OP, they need to be nerfed, and they need to sort out helicopter battles. They need to put proper BR compressions in, they need to put helicopters that can face one another in certain BRs so it's not unfair to the other helicopters. Like, I don't think an AH-1G and an Mi-4 should be facing against an Mi-24 which has got ATGMs on it, or Mi-28N which has got missiles on it, or an Apache which has got missiles on it. I just don't think it's fair. I think they should be in their own BR category, so it's fair for people to grind in. And I understand that the helicopter lineup is small, but it's terrible to grind with anyways. Surely you want it to be easier so you can get the helicopter. I just don't know why it's so hard for GAIJIN to do this. And yes, okay, you're going to go in the comments, oh, but money, it makes them money, why would they change? Well, of course it's going to make them money. Why wouldn't it? But again, this is, you know, criticism and an argument that I think it's bullshit. And, you know, I've got the right to do that. But enough from the Vicar missiles. We all know it's OP, it needs to be nerfed, and there needs to be a BR compression for helicopters. It's quite obvious now. For the map design, I think they need to change it. If they are to go with a realistic or arcade battle sort of type, I think perhaps just shorten the map a little bit. I like sometimes flying about, just picking off AI targets, but by the time you get there, you are picked off by other helicopters, and it's quite a pain in the ass. I think the map should be a little bit smaller. There should be more varied maps. I think there should be more maps like City, for example, where you can get cover from helicopters. Because again, with these maps where it's all open, there's no way you can hide or anything. The only way you can hide is going really low level or hiding behind a mountain. But it can't prevent people from sniping with well, actually that's a bit stupid. Of course you're going to quote-unquote sniper helicopters because they're ATGMs, you're going to be from distance, but it doesn't give you any cover. You can't vary in different areas, you can't take cover, you can't be strategic, you can't flank him without being sniped. It's just miserable. The map design with certain maps, apart from City of course, well City, I don't know, City is quite miserable because you've still got the issue of, at the minute, K50s and everything, but it's just miserable with the other maps that you can't have any decent cover because you can get easily spawn camped. I mean, you can get easily spawn camped in City, but it's much harder to do because they've got cover. I think if you have cover in certain maps, or it's more like City-based maps or maps that've got cover, it would be much easier. And if they're shorter, it would be much easier. Because, in all fairness, I don't want to fly for like 10 minutes to an area to then get shot down. It's just miserable. I don't think anyone wants to. It's just a miserable experience. I think as a whole, helicopter EC is just broken. It's completely fucked. Nothing's been done about it, and people keep bitching and moaning about the K50 being nerfed or the Vickers missile being nerfed because it doesn't get money or they won't get a premium base. Well, it sucks for you, mate. I've got the K50 in my lineup right now in this battle that I was playing, but I'm not using it because I'm not a dickhead. I might occasionally, time to time, use the K50 if there's too many K50s or K52s. If I'm forced to happen to use it because there's too many K50s or K52s, I'm going to have to use it because there's no way I can fight against them. But I personally do not like the helicopter because of how overpowered it is with the Vickers missiles. So I don't know what GAIJIN is doing. I think they should focus more on EC. It's got a potential thing for it. It would be a good game mode if it was properly sorted out. And I'm surprised it hasn't. You've got Air RB, you've got Tank RB. Why isn't there? And you've also got Naval RB. Why isn't there a helicopter realistic battle mode? Why can't there be one for helicopters? I know that they've got a short lineup or short tech tree, sorry. But I don't know why this is an excuse. It shouldn't be an excuse. Oh, what? You can get a helicopter, blah, blah, blah. It's so much easier to get a helicopter. Well, you have to, if you're doing it properly, or not buying a premium, you have to grind to get to that rank to even be able to grind them in the first place. So there is some sort of a counter-argument that you have to grind tanks or aircraft to a certain BR to get them, and I think you can pay to just pay a helicopter to, grind helicopter straight off. But I mean, that's then, they're paying to win, which, I've got no problem. I don't, I buy premium vehicles, so I'm not saying that pay to win is necessarily bad. I quite like premium vehicles, but I don't think the K50 should be a premium vehicle. I genuinely think that vehicle is too overpowered to be a premium vehicle. When the Harrier GR1 was added to the game, it did break Air RB for a few days, but that got to nerf. That got nerfed to high hell come completely after. The K50 has been in the game for way longer. The Vickers missiles have been in the game for way longer. There is nothing being done to the missiles to nerf them. They are just still overpowered, and they ruin EC completely. I don't know where to go with this direction with EC. I like it, but I also hate it because of the helicopters. I think it would be much better if there was a proper BR, BR compression, BRs, and certain things for helicopters. It would just make it much more fun. People might like it, but I personally hate EC and how it is at the minute. And I don't think it's fair for the Vickers missiles to be this OP and then other, helicopters have to suffer going against it. I am mostly focusing on the Vickers missiles. The UHT, I haven't seen enough UHTs to piss me off. I mean, back then, when UHT was first studied, it was fucking annoying in Ground RB. It was a pain in the ass, but nowadays, it's not so necessarily the most annoying thing to go against. I think the UHT still should go against them helicopters if there was a proper mode for them to only go against each other, because again, fire forget missiles, it's kind of unfair. You can't dodge them. You can't do anything against them if you're in a Hind or any other helicopter. I think in fact any helicopter you can't dodge them because they're fire and forget. I don't know, you might be able to dodge them, but if you had cover, you would be able to dodge them. Like in City, you can dodge them. It's completely easy to dodge an ATGM if you can in helicopter EC in City because there is cover. But the other maps you can't have cover because again they are shitly designed. There is no things to hide behind apart from mountains and going really low out. But again, the UHT missile will get you, and a Vicar missile will get you because the Vicar's got proximity, the UHT has got fire and forget. So you can't do anything about it. I think it would be nice if GAIJIN did go towards a direction in which they did fix helicopters, because it's not a dead mode. Well, I suppose it would be in terms of other things, but it's not dead. It has potential. It has so much more potential than people think. I don't want helicopters, to be nerfed, but if it's breaking a game, then it has to be sorted out. I think if they're not going to do anything about actually having a proper ground RB mode, helicopter RB mode, or an actual proper mode for helicopters, then I think they should go towards the direction of nerfing the Vicar missiles, and potentially maybe nerfing UHT if they can. I'm not sure. I think the UHT was terrible at a time, but there is a lot of things they need to factor. Again, this is why they should add a proper mode, because then they don't have to nerf vehicles. So, again, if they don't add a mode, then nerf the Vicar proximity and potentially nerf its range. Make it so it can be killed and can be countered fairly. And yeah, that's the easiest way you can do it, GAIJIN, because if you're not going to be willing to actually have a proper mode, then what else can we do? Because I don't think people can stand any longer for the K50 and the Vicars to keep killing them. It's just not fun. I mean, I want to play a helicopter and not be shot from fucking 5 miles away by a helicopter which has got proximity missiles on it, which I can't dodge because it's got proximity and can outrange me, so I can't even hit it for a starter. It's just unfair. I mean, for Ground RB, I have used it. I'm guilty. I have used the K50, but that's showing you that even though I've used it, and I think it's my top played thing in Ground RB because I've used to grind a hell a lot with it. It shows you that I think it's OP because it's OP. It is without a doubt the most OP helicopter. Well, the K52 is now at the MI-28M because they've got the firmware with it, but so it's got a bit more stuff to it, but still the missiles is OP. For Ground RB especially, I would purposely go in close so surface-aware missiles can hit me, because I don't think it's fair to be 10 miles out or whatever, how many miles out the distance is between with the Vicar and the range of the battlefield of Ground RB, and to not be able to get killed, because it's just completely unfair. And with the nerf on surface-aware missiles, so they now lose velocity every time you turn the missile and everything, and some missiles aren't even ranged for the K50, you can't counter it. Or the Vicar missiles. You might notice that I keep going towards the K50 more, because it is mostly the K50 that has ruined this. The 52 and the MI-28M have ruined it as well because of the Vicar, but the Vicar missile, and mainly the K50 because it can be on sale, it's a premium vehicle, for God's sake, it's widely spammed, it is ruining everything. And again, EC needs to be sorted out, because there is people who do enjoy it. I enjoy it if there isn't a K50, K52, MI-28, and potentially UHT. Again, I haven't seen many UHTs. It's quite easy to kill a UHT if they're not looking at you. Because they have to go in range with you. So it's, again, the UHT isn't as annoying as a Vicar missile. But, it's up to GAIJIN where they want to go. But I really hope they sort out this mode, because it's going on for too long now. I just want to have fun in a mode with a helicopter. I really like flying helicopters. I think the Hind is one of my most favourite, if not the most favourite helicopter. I like the Mi-24s. But I can't enjoy it, or anyone else can't enjoy it, when you've got these helicopters around and this sort of horrible mode. Because it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work for everyone. It works for the people who want to be scummy and abuse it, but it doesn't work for people who want to just grind and not get pissed off. You know, I mean, yeah, okay, every grind is going to be annoying. You're going to come with obstacles. It's going to be a bit unfair with some things. But with EC, it's literally fucking unfair. There is nothing you can do about it apart from potentially getting lucky and hiding and trying to get out of the way. But even then you can't, because it's literally most indefinitely impossible to dodge a missile or Vicar missile unless you're behind cover and you can get to there quick enough. It's just unfair. The state of EC is ridiculous, and I think they should sort it out. I need to rant about this. It's been bothering me for such a long time. I feel like I've overlapped on things. I feel like I've said the same thing over and over again, because these are the issues that are within EC. These are the issues that we need to sort out. But I don't know what's going to happen, because by the looks of it, it will never get sorted out, because you get these players or people who will be like, oh, but I can't afford my OP helicopter then. Well, tough luck. You know, the Harrier got nerfed, other vehicles have got nerfed. Why has it got to be this missile that isn't nerfed? Why has it got to be that other people have got to suffer and have problems, and, you know, these people haven't, and these people can just sit here and be arseholes, you know? And it's like, it's also GAIJIN's fault as well, because they know it makes them money, but just put a normal premium Hind in there and get rid of a K50. People will still buy it. I would buy a premium Hind in the Russian helicopter tree, because I like the Hind. I mean, I might like the Hind, other people might not. I'm not trying to force people to, buy other things, but I don't think K50 should be a premium at all. It should not be a premium. It's completely fucking OP. And then you've also got the fact that Russia has also got an Su-22M3 in their squadron thing now. So it does also benefit Russia mostly, because it is a lot of OP vehicles. I'm not trying to push it on to Russia being Russia's fault, but it does kind of make Russia biased and having a lot of overpowered vehicles. Again, I'm not saying they're completely overpowered, but it does help them in that factor. You've got to admit, it does help them quite a lot, and it is quite unfair considering that there is other nations with better equipment, better vehicles that haven't got that stuff. The Apaches should be 10 times better for starter. Apaches are an amazing helicopter, but they're not, because again, what fun is it for K50 or K52 or MS-28 players if another helicopter's going to beat them? It is unfair. It's completely unfair. But, it is what it is, and I hope it is dealt with at some point, because I can't bear playing EC any longer. I want to get the UHT, I want to get the NM, but I feel kind of scummy to grinding the NM, because when I use a Vicar missiles, I'll be killing people. But then again, I'm not going to be targeting people who aren't helicopters that don't have the Vicar missiles. So, again, I'm going to be using it for that. I'm going to be killing K50, K52s, Mi-28 NMs, and UHTs potentially if they're in range. Because I don't feel like being a dickhead. I don't feel like killing an Mi-4 or an AH-1G or a helicopter that can't range me. It's a scummy vehicle. They're all scummy vehicles, these vehicles that use the Vicar missiles. And I just don't think it should be allowed. That's why I don't think it should be allowed. But, okay, there's my rant. I'm sorry if I got off track with some things. I just had to let it off. It's so stressful. I hate how it is. But, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video and have a good day.